Hello everyone, welcome to Phone Arena. This is our special podcast. We have a visitor to Chennai from Bangalore. This is Sudeep, a good friend of mine. We've known each other when he was at Xiaomi, and now he's part of a new startup called Lumio. So Lumio has been making a lot of noise with respect to the TVs. They're kind of saying that their TVs are the fastest in the market, and we reviewed one of the TVs, and we also saw the TVs at an event recently. So we're doing an event in Chennai today, and we thought let's get Sudeep to talk to us on what Lumio is all about and what other products can we expect beyond TVs, and what's the vision behind these products which are coming out, because a lot of folks from Xiaomi are at Lumio now. So even one of the co-founders is also Raghu, is also from Xiaomi, and I've known Sudeep for a lot of time when he used to launch TVs in the Xiaomi brand. So we've been on product calls, briefings for the Xiaomi. He was leading the product TV category at Xiaomi. So Sudeep, welcome to Phone Arena podcast and welcome to Chennai.
Thank you.
Thank you. The first time I think we're meeting in Chennai.
Yeah, I think we are doing this for the first time, this kind of setup. Thank you so much for inviting us. Small trivia, I actually had my first job after college in Chennai. So I lived here for like 1.5 years roughly, sometime in 2008, long time ago. I'm pretty old. But very happy. In fact, I was like, I can't miss this opportunity to come back to Chennai. Today we're hosting a fan meetup which we're calling the Lumio Insider event. So yeah, we'll be starting that in sometime. We are hoping to catch up with that. So yeah, thank you so much for having us. Oh, you got a coffee.
Oh, nice. Thank you. So nice cafe we have here. We're actually in Annanagar, which is a nice cool part of town in Chennai. And yeah, so we don't have the TVs here, but we've already reviewed them. So I've had some ideas in terms of the questions as well. So you started it with the 43, and you have a 50-inch and a 55, and then the flagship is the mini LED version, which I'm curious to test. I saw it at the event in Delhi last month, and you have that as well, which is all are actually you have like 4 SKUs. So why the differentiation? So can you tell us why Vision 7, why Vision 9, and what's the idea behind both these product lineups?
Sure. So before we start about the product, just for your viewers, I wanted to tell what's the definition of Lumio. I think we have a lot of stories, but the real actual truth is we were trying to obviously trademark a name, and this is almost like a year ago, 8-9 months ago. We were trying to find the right name, but unfortunately every name has been taken. So we actually had to create a new name. So this Lumio is made up 2 words, luminous and IO. Luminous is light, and IO is input-output, which is very, very fundamental to everything in electronics. So yeah, we combined the 2 words and we created Lumio, and that has been trademarked by us, our parent company, Circuit House. So that's the real story, and there's nothing else. And I think a lot of people are appreciating it. It's got a nice vibe and nice, it sounds nice. It reminds some people of Nokia Lumia.
Nokia Lumia. A lot of people. I think I saw even a review. It said Lumia TV.
Lumia TV.
So yeah, I think it's a very. It has a nice ring to it.
Yes.
So yeah, Sudeep being the product guy, I even forgot to ask him about the company itself. We straight drive into the product conversation. But yeah, so tell us, how did Lumio come into being? I mean, you left Xiaomi, and even Raghu left Xiaomi. A lot of people, I think, wanted to build. I've been hearing about Circuit House Technologies. I think you raised a small round of funding too. So how did it come together, and how did you guys form the team?
So sometime last year in 2024 is when the company got formally registered, and even before that, I think this thought has always been there. We need to do something in consumer electronics after our previous job. So yeah, we were bouncing a lot of ideas. We were trying to figure out what should we do, and we kind of zeroed on home entertainment as a category, and we were sure that we want to do electronics. We want to do consumer electronics for sure. But in consumer electronics, a huge space, and there are a lot of categories, but some of the categories are very, very challenging. I think smartphone, for example, is super challenging, right? And it's way more complicated than a smart TV. But there were broadly 2 reasons why we decided home entertainment and then decided smart TVs. The first reason being a lot of known existing brands just left the country overnight. So that kind of obviously created a business reason for us. The second reason was we realized there is no one who is trying to do something different in this space. I think the space, if I talk specifically about home entertainment, It's a, a $5 billion industry, and in that, I think smart TV is a lion's share. So it was very, very obvious that we want to start with smart TVs because we and me and few other folks, we've had that experience. We know the supply chain, we know the screw basically to the T, how things are done in this space. So yeah, we thought if not us, why not? I mean, who else will do? So we kind of like, yeah, about a year ago, we decided on home entertainment. We decided, okay, the first set of product needs to be smart TVs. So here we are after like a year of, I would say it's not just hard work, it's also a lot of perseverance because along the path it was not easy. Varun, I mean, if you run a business, you know, when you try to do something different, the supply chain is not necessarily very, very, especially to new guys, especially to startups, right? So to get this right product, this definition which is not existing anywhere, you can go and Google this particular combination of stuff is not even there anywhere. We had to like fight it out. Of course, Google was a very, very helpful support because they also came and helped us to get this fastest TV. In fact, quick small memory jog. In fact, last year, Raghu and Kailash went to San Francisco. They were in California and they were meeting the Google TV team, and they essentially said, hey, we want to make this idea, this germ of an idea, like, hey, we want to make the fastest TV. They were a little taken aback. They were like, everybody in India thinks about making a cheaper TV. Nobody wants to make a better TV. We wanted to make a better TV. Of course, it's not just better, it's one of the best TVs that we have built. But the idea was India is moving slowly towards premiumization across. We want to wear nice, better clothes. We want to have better watches. We want to have better socks for that matter, and better shoes, right? So we believe this trend will happen in every aspect of electronics. And of course, we want to latch on that beforehand because there is always this, in your timeline, if you stretch it, it's like the Marvel timeline. So if you stretch electronics timeline, there's always in sports new things happen. We want to go and catch on that, and premiumization of smart TVs is something that we want to catch.
Awesome. So yeah, I mean, great insight. And again, I think India. I mean, I've also heard. I mean, considering the starting up, I heard similar challenges from Carl when nothing was starting up as well. They started out as a no-name player, trying to get your production line, and nobody wants to listen to you. And they have their own large customers. I mean, you managed to get, I think, Dixon on board as a manufacturer. So we'll come to that in a bit.
Sure.
But yeah, so I mean, it's a very niche market you've picked up. Like TVs itself is a smaller part of the pie in respect to consumer electronics, and most Indian homes, I mean, thanks to your previous job, I think Xiaomi has sold a lot of, I think, kind of dominated. It still controls a major share in the smart TV space. I think any household you go, it's either a non-smart Sony, Samsung previously, and then now there's a lot of smart TV players out there, and Xiaomi was one of the leading players. And you brought up a point about a lot of players exiting. So we've been in this space for close to 20 years, and we saw after phones, every other player was trying to enter phones, and then phones got less easy or a more cutthroat market. So a lot of the players were there slightly higher margin than phones and less servicing required is a TV, natural extension, small screen, larger screen. And we saw the likes of every other phone manufacturer, Xiaomi, Realme, OnePlus, everybody entering. And then you had the TV, rebranded TVs as well from TCL, Kodak. This whole licensing game was also going, and Nokia also came up with some TVs as well. And it was crazy. Like, it was like literally the phone game. They were trying to replicate the phone business, and that's when I think a lot of things went wrong, because from our research we realized that both are not the same. The margins are different. It's also a larger product, so logistics, breakages are a big challenge. So you can't operate in the same pricing and margins as a phone with respect to TVs.
Yes, it's a different
I think that's the reason. I also asked a few players who exited, who abandoned this category literally, not even exited, because exit would be a more honorable word. I would say they just abandoned the market. Like few players. I mean, there's still some. I think they're selling out inventory, some leftover inventory.
Sure.
But what happened sadly was a lot of these TVs were sitting in homes. I don't think even their warranties had expired. but these players were no longer in India.
In India, yeah.
And I think that's why I think it's a lot of challenge for you as a new player, because the questions we get when we in our reviews or on our platforms when we review a new TV, we even kind of took a step back as to should we even put in the effort to review the TV, because it's not as straightforward as reviewing a phone. It's a lot of work reviewing a TV, and we put in the review, consumers buy it, and then suddenly the company is no longer servicing the customer, and so that is why a lot of questions in these users' minds as to Lumio, okay, is a new player, okay, it looks, I mean, a lot of hype and celebration around the brand and the product. Okay, can I put in my hard-earned money and trust this brand? Is a straightforward question, because I mean, I think one of the biggest players who managed to get a sizable share against Xiaomi was OnePlus, and they made some brilliant products. I still have some of their products, and
Which one?
The QLED, Q1 Pro and Q2 Pro and all that. I've seen those, and they have awesome products. It's sad that what happened, and they just kind of exited the market. And the products are still beautifully running. They've got an update, I think, recently. So they're trying to push some updates. I think they tried to give some back call center support and service support also, because OnePlus as a brand technically even still exists in India, other categories. So the question to you is, from our users is, how are you in this for the long run, and how committed are you to this category? Because TV is not a typical like a phone purchase. A TV is going to sit in your like in your home for a longer period. Phone maybe a year or two, TV maybe 3-4 years or even longer. The product, we'll come to the product bit again. You're saying it's going to be fast, not only initially but also it continues to be fast. So in that case, might be lasting even 4-5 years easily. So in that case, what is your commitment to this category, and how are you planning to tackle this challenge as to that building that trust? Even established players have a challenge in consumers' minds. There's already this doubt which is established. How are you planning to kind of win their trust?
You have asked a very, very genuine and a real question. I think we have also got that on our customer support. So we have already started customer support on chat, email, and on phone. This is the number one query. Hey, will I have service in the place that I am from, where I will order from? So we're going with online. So literally TVs can be shipped anywhere. The second, and I'll come to the second trust part, right? I think that is very, very, it is probably the biggest challenge for a newcomer to build trust from day zero, because hey, it's a new brand. How do I trust? So I'll address the first part. So we are, in TV world, we are in fact one of the first hires that we did about 6 months ago was actually our service head. He has spent more than 25 years in the space building up and scaling up businesses in large format categories, right, which is TV. So he's worked in Samsung, LG, and in Xiaomi also. So that was one of the first teams that we built. And when we are building, of course we have to work with a third party, because that's how every TV player in the country works. Bearing few known brands, most of them have a third party that they work with. So we wanted to ensure no matter where you place the order, A, first we can deliver, B, we can service. So from day zero, we will have 300 plus service centers, and this will cover about 19,000 pin code. But all of that means basically, unlike a smartphone where you go to a service center, in TV, the service guy comes to your home. So first I want to clarify, it is a service at home. It's no need to go to a service centers. But of course you can go, we have a pin code checker on our website lumio.co.in. You can actually check if we have service in your specific pin code. It's already live, and thanks to some of the feedback that we got, we actually built it overnight. That's precisely the first part, right? Hey, will I get service? You will get service. You can go check it out, and it will be service at home. So you don't need to, obviously, nobody needs to carry the TV to service center. Let's be very, very clear. The second part, how do you build trust? I think for a new brand, I think that is very, very. It is one of the biggest challenge or the hurdle, in my personal opinion. And we did few things. First thing I want to clarify: we are new as a brand, but we are not new to the game. We have been doing this. We have built and scaled businesses in the past. In fact, because of our past experiences, there is learnings also. I'll give you a very small example. Most of something that we have built is when you call a customer care and it says, hey, listen, my TV is broken or whatever, software is not working, this is not working, they will log a ticket. Then the after sales guy has to come. So this has to be notified to an after sales. Guess how it is working in 2025? They send Excel sheets. You would be like appalled by this whole idea. How can this work on an Excel sheet, right? Imagine thousands of calls, hundreds of cities. People are literally like doing this manually. So we built a unified CRM system that actually talks. It is basically like talking to each other through a common API, so that when a call is logged, hey, I have this issue, automatically the service engineer is notified. He has a ticket, internal ticket in his CRM to go and service. So that's one very, very essential thing in why the service is not that great for most people. And I think service is the number one thing that will make it break for any brand or any category for that matter. I think this has been happening years and years and decades. Anybody who gives a great service will
Also, I think
last.
that point about service, because it's even more important for a home entertainment product, because phone, you don't even have to bother visiting a service center until you have an issue or break a phone. But you mandatorily require a service touch point because you need an installation, unless you want to set it up with a stand yourself, which most people won't. They would want help because it's heavy, it's bulky, and they don't know how to put it up, or they just need help because it's so there is a mandatorily installation touch point. You need the service. And also there is this, I mean, if you're going to shift, you want a TV to be removed, so it's a mandatory, you can't really escape that touch point with the customer in terms of service.
But on the second point, right, how do we build trust, right? I think there are, obviously we are new as a brand, but we are not new to the game. We have done this in the past, so we have been very, very cautious about to get the basics right and to get and do learn from our previous experiences. That's the whole point. We have been in this space for 15-20 years, most of us, the core team, the founding team. So that's number one. Number two that we are doing is we are also trying not, of course, when you buy a product, you will have these questions, but we are also trying to build a lot of things around the brand. One of the things that we have done, we actually have a Instagram page where we talk about a lot of things. We talk about entertainment, we talk about movies, we talk about, we're trying to also build trust by, you know me, 10 other people know us, but most people don't know when they search for Lumia, who are these people behind, right? Of course, you can go to a website and check all of us, all our employees, including our dogs, are mentioned on the website. But we are also trying to build that trust factor by doing all of these activities. We are trying to build a lot of content around Lumio on our Instagram page. Links will be down there. You can actually go and find a lot of this content about the space. We are trying to build trust for common people who have no idea who these people are, what do they know. We want to be experts, and this, of course, it has to start from somewhere. So we're trying to build all of these pillars, so on to say. In trust building, we have done something which is very, very essential: warranty. People really care about warranty.
That is one thing I really liked, because just 1 year warranty doesn't really cut it, right, for a product.
Here's the funny part. People give you warranty, but they are claiming, I'll give you 7 years of software.
And especially in a category, even phones 1 year is okay. Even that I push brands to give 2 years, because that's a typical ownership cycle when things go wrong after your 1 year of ownership. So in a TV category, I would highly recommend brands when they come to me for feedback, please give 2 years minimum. And I think you're giving 2 years plus if early adopters, I mean, you're giving extra additional year.
We're running an offer now. If you pre-book from 20.
So which is good, which also shows your commitment to the product and that you're willing to take that risk.
It comes from the quality, right? It stems from the quality, the type of product that you have. Of course, there is an insurer who will insure all of this. But like Varun said, early bird. So basically, we're running a pre-order from, it's already live. You can go pre-order until 30th. All of those customers, no matter if you're booking 43-inch Lumia Vision 7 or a 55-inch QD Mini LED Lumia Vision 9, all of them will get 3 years of warranty. In fact, I have booked one for my dad because his old TV count off. So, a lot of us, we are actually going and booking for ourselves first, and we have put it out on the screen. So please go ahead and the links will be down below.
Yeah, so you told something interesting about trying to engage in a conversation. I think I actually saw a tweet from someone, another founder I follow. Attenberg, yeah.
Yes.
So I follow Arindam, and he had put out a saying, you want to buy a new TV, and
so many
a lot of people are
recommending.
And he's like, the reaction was like genuine. I mean, saying, hey, gone a Lumia, and who's Lumia? And I'm generally is there a startup, but I'm really kind of afraid for them because it's so much of a kind of hype riding on that brand. And so he had a different take on it because he's also built a B2C brand from D2C brand from scratch. I love their products. Attenberg, probably is going to be one of my next guests on this podcast. But brilliant products.
I have a story around Attenberg.
Yeah.
In fact, he even might not know it. So I used to work on the Mi Remote app back in the day, and I had added the Attenberg remote on the Mi Remote list.
Nice.
Even before anybody knew about Attenberg.
Wonderful. Yeah, so Attenberg, I'm carrying around a phone with the LED just because I can control the fan in the night. And ever since I used, so I didn't know about Attenberg, honestly. It was something I discovered through some word of mouth or somewhere online on Amazon or something. I didn't even know they were offline. I just discovered them online, and then I
think he was very surprised by why so many people. I want to tell the reason. I want to clarify that. All those guys who have commented on his tweet, okay, people still call it post, I still call it tweet, still Twitter for me. They're actually, okay, so just like we are doing the fan meetup in Chennai, we have done it in Delhi, we have done it in Bangalore, of course we are from Bangalore, we have done it in Bombay, and the fourth place that we did before the launch was Hyderabad. All the people, you can go and check, they've actually used our TV.
Yeah.
We hosted
and you not paid them or given them free TVs.
No, they came, this is what we are doing, and I don't think any other brand has done this. Before the product was launched, we have gone and showcased to at least 30-40 people outside the journalists and the tech community.
That's good. So you also have some media sessions and also tech enthusiasts, which we'll come to that in a second, because this is a community which is, I call myself a tech enthusiast. So I am an early adopter tech enthusiast. That's why I bought if you're not sent a review on it, I would have probably bought a Lumia TV. But yeah, so that Attenberg I was saying. So I kind of bought that fan, installed it once. That's a category was ripe for disruption, because every other fan, like the normal fan, was breaking down, especially Chennai summers are brutal. Installed one in my bedroom. Experience was so good. Like in my entire house, I changed it to Attenberg. Even in office, couple of fans, we changed it to Attenberg. So even now, if I order or if I'm recommending somebody, I've had issues with their customer support. Some fan broke down, their magnet broke. Yeah. But they also have a 2-year warranty. If you register it, it's 3 years, whatever, very similar approach. Yeah. But they won my trust, which was lacking in the initial bit. They even sent a nice thank you card or a sorry card when they serviced my fan, which broke down. And they said, we're adding an additional year of warranty, keep this card, because we failed, the product failed. 99% of our products don't fail. Whether 1% there's a chance something went wrong. Correct. So we'll want to make you happy, and it was very nice customer support and whatever.
I have the fan store in my dad's place. All the rooms is all that.
So again, coming to that, why also, because I think Attenberg is managed to. They're also a very big offline also. It's easy. They're on Blinkit also. Right now, you can order it on a quick commerce as well now.
Oh, nice.
So that way, I think there is a lot of excitement around made in India products. Designed here and sold here by an Indian company. Yeah. Even Raghu, when I was speaking to him, also I was talking about this and why you guys got into this business, because of saying the TV category, it's mostly the Koreans and Chinese players, and there's no.
And a lot of.
I think we still have some old TV. I think at home or office somewhere. I think Onida. So I think the Onida, Solidaire, Videocon. I think that phase is over. There's no homegrown player making TVs in this market. It's mostly dominated by Samsung, LG, and the Chinese players. And obviously there is Sony from Japan as well. Yeah. So this we spoke about the trust part. Yeah. Now coming into the market part. So this is again a brutal category to be in. Highly cutthroat. People have established trust against.
I think consumer electronics in general.
Yeah, consumer electronics is. But TV, I think, is phones. People take a chance because there's a new player. like nothing, something cool, something came in, so nothing was, again, the leadership was Carl, next OnePlus guy is coming in, something cool, so people got their attention. But again, there are so many new players. There was Poco, from when you guys started, when you were at Xiaomi, there was Poco, and now there are, Vivo has iQOO. I mean, every company wants to have a smaller new brand they're experimenting with to get more market share or whatever. TVs is a, phones you can kind of, people aren't as loyal to phones. Because they want to try that. But TV is more of something intimate, right? So something sits in your home. It sits in your entertainment or hall or whatever, living room. And people have this trust for certain brands built over time. Like Sony, for example, has earned that trust with their Bravia TVs over time. Samsung too, I mean, their displays are amazing, so they've won that trust. They also use Tizen, which is not Android. So they have that trust. LG too, I mean, LG and Samsung displays are phenomenal. So but again, software wise, they are not, very friendly in terms of Google. They have their own ecosystem for products. I mean, so Tizen. So, but Sony is still on Android TV and Google TV or whatever you call it now. I think it's called Google TV. Right. So, but yeah, so that's what it is. So, but how do you plan to convince these users? Because that's the question we get from users. Right. Why should I buy a Lumio over a Samsung or over a Sony or over an LG? That's the question I get. Strangely, there's no question about buying a Lumio over a Xiaomi or a OnePlus or a Realme or whatever, or a TCL. I think TCL or Hisense is very active now compared to, I think, other Chinese OEMs. Even Xiaomi has reduced the number of TVs which come out. I mean, before there used to be so many SKUs coming out. I think they had one which come out, I think probably on the same day you guys announced. I think you guys announced in the morning, they announced it in the afternoon. But not many questions around that. But the questions around the more bigger players like LG, Samsung, Sony. So how do you counter that?
So I think one thing that we're trying to do, of course, as a brand positioning, I'll touch upon that. We're trying to build a mid-premium brand. So if you notice, you can get cheaper QLEDs in the 43-inch, 50-inch. We are not at the entry price point. That's precisely, again, I'll connect back to, we wanted to make a better TV, which also is like little bit priced lower than a Sony, Samsung and an LG. We understand people who are brand loyal in that space, and it has got to do with the age also a little bit. Like we've all set our mind, okay, this is good in this particular category, this is good in this particular category. If you ask my dad or anyone in that age group, they've also already built. But we know this for a fact with our research, the TG that we're trying to target, the younger generation, they are not very affiliated with a particular brand in any aspect, be it fashion, be it cars, like automobile, or be it tech. They like to experiment. In fact, they're always looking for something new, right? One of the reasons why Gen Zs, as we call them, they have very, very wide variety of taste. And in fact, the TG that we're trying to target with this is also coming from a very evolved user. We are not looking for first time buyers, hence we are not at the entry price point. The second reason is we're trying to target like a Gen Z sort of like crowd who has not been associated or affiliated to a particular brand in his head. He still wants to experiment. The third reason that we are building is the customer who's frustrated, right? One of the reasons why we did TV is we reviewed 50,000 plus reviews from Flipkart, Amazon. All of them are complaining about this speed, this slow lag problem, which we are terming it like slow, epidemic of slow in smart TVs, and that's true across brands. It's not necessarily an Android problem or a Sony problem or a LG problem or a Samsung problem. Anything with TVs which are priced 1.5 lakhs or below, most of them have this problem at a later stage. It's a post-purchase dissonance. It's not a pre-purchase dissonance. True. Those are the guys that we are actually targeting because they are frustrated. What do? They buy an Apple TV, they buy a Fire Stick Max, or if you are in a US, you buy NVIDIA Shield Pro, which is one of my favorite devices. In fact, that was our benchmark. Nice. That
was going to be my next question.
Yeah, that was a Northern Star. Yeah. Believe us, it was literally the box. We were like, okay, this is the type of performance that we want to achieve. Buy
a lakh TV and then buy additional box because your TV is running slow.
So we were like, hey, listen, you don't have to buy additional 15,000, 12,000 rupee really good Android streaming device or an Apple TV. Our TVs are really, really, really fast. I would encourage a lot of you guys to come and check it out. If somebody has bought it, go to their house and check it out. It is truly in all true sense really fast in every aspect, which we'll talk about later.
Yeah, because that was my question. Because if my number one suggestion to somebody who complains about their TV, because I was just I'm packing up your Lumio TV today after because the review is done. We are just testing it and then we packed it up, and I turned on my old TV. It was I think a Flipkart, Nokia, something.
Sure.
It took forever to boot up. I realized, okay, there is a significant amount of difference in the operating speed. And then I even remember, like I reviewed the Mi QLED, which was I think one of your last launches before you left Xiaomi. That I think in the middle of the pandemic, we were watching a lot of TV. Despite it being a premium TV, I think it was a lakh plus. Still, after a few months of usage, slowed down considerably.
Yes.
And because I think it's just the way the Google TV stack is built, and there needs some additional fine tuning to be done, which most OEMs
and
are
headspace.
And the RAM and the processing power which is needed. So we'll come to that in a second. So I can agree that the TVs are noticeably faster. But why should somebody? I mean, I understand you don't want to buy the first time buyer or somebody who doesn't really know their tech. You want people you're appealing to, like you said, tech enthusiasts, which is something I liked. Your messaging too. You were appealing to tech enthusiasts and people who want something really different from the crowd. But why should somebody? I mean, it's kind of lame that you buy a nice expensive TV, but then you'll have to use something like an Nvidia Shield TV Pro or an Apple TV 4K to get that entertainment experience, right? I mean, some people like it. I like it because I use my iPhone on the TV, so that's fine. But for most 90% of users, you don't need that. If your TV is working fine. So why should I just invest in a TV over getting some additional box like that?
So, great question. I'm trying to find an answer. So while our messaging is very, very straightforward, saying that, hey, this is the fastest TV in the country, we have validated, third-party people have gone and validated. But that is just one aspect of our TV. The most important thing, why any person in the world buys a TV is picture and sound.
Yeah.
We are not shying away from that. What we are saying is all the TVs, at least in the TG that we're targeting 1.5 lakh and below, they're super slow. And that is precisely because every TV manufacturer, every brand under the sun follows one simple formula. Let's put a good display, let's put a decent sound, let's price it as aggressive as we can, as low as we can, and go and sell the TV. What we are doing is, we have obviously broken down that formula, tore it, trashed it out of our window. We will create an experience that is actually fast. We will lead with that. However, we believe picture and sound is still the most important thing. In fact, those are the two other reasons why you should buy a TV is the display. Let's be very real. Display is something that, and I keep telling this to people, once you bought a TV, you cannot change the display. You can add any streaming devices, the colors won't pop, the HDR highlight won't highlight. That's precisely why people should obviously upgrade from the existing TV is because of display. That is one of the most underrated stuff, obviously, that people don't necessarily know unless, like you mentioned, because you used a faster TV, then when you moved back, you realized, oh my God, there is a significant difference. That's also applicable to display. If you have not experienced the best display, flagship level display, and I'm not using this word for the sake of it, our TVs actually truly come with flagship level of specs. I'll get into that in a bit. And the sound, right? In display, there is 3 things that is very important. What makes a good display? According to us, it has to be bright. Let's be very real. We have a lot of sunlight coming in our houses. Indian homes, we love windows and sunlight. You ask anybody, you ask my mother, she loves a home which has sunlight, right? That is natural, especially in your living room where you spend a lot of your time with family members and not necessarily a bedroom. So brightness is very, very critical. Second thing which is very critical, what makes a TV a good display is color. Can't emphasize this enough. No matter what tech you put, the best HDR techs you put, if you don't have brightness, if you don't have colors, all of that are meaningless, right? Third thing, you need to have a huge volume of color, you need to have a bright display, you need to have a huge volume of color so that all your HDR and SDR content looks great. The third thing, which is most people don't necessarily talk about, is color accuracy. All our TVs, and I'll give you all benchmarks, right? Like our TVs start at 43 inch for Lumia Vision 7. Even that has a Rec 2020, which is the HDR color space.
Yeah, I saw the Konica Minolta report you sent.
Yes. Yeah. So those are
Color gamut.
the color gamut reports, and we have all the color gamut reports. I'll maybe you can flash this, and you can have people who can download and like check the report. Our base 43 inch starts at 69% Rec 2020 numbers, which is the HDR color space, and the DCI-P3 we have ranging from like 75 all the way to 83%. So in fact, the ranges that we are talking about, these are again like unheard of in this category. The Vision 755 and the Vision 955, the Rec 2020 numbers are like above 80%, which is huge by any standard. Literally, money no matter if you buy a Sony flagship TV, they come around that Rec 2020 80%. And in India, there are barely, I can name like 2 or 3 TVs which has Rec 2020 more than 80%. The third thing is accuracy. We are also very, very accurate. In fact, the test that we have done, it's the HDR Dolby Vision numbers that we got from the testing labs. We are somewhere in between 1.08 to 1.47, 1.77 or 1.76 if my memory serves right. That's the level of color accuracy. Again, these are all flagship level color accuracy numbers. So brighter display, I did not touch upon the display. So Lumia Vision 7 series comes up to 400.
Okay, before that, let's quickly, you can just explain the products, right? So Vision 7,
sure.
43.
Yes.
Then you have...
we have a Lumia Vision 7, Lumia Vision 9. Lumia Vision 7 comes with 3 sizes,
Yeah.
43, 50 and 55. Lumia Vision 9 comes in 55. And I will preempt and answer the question, why not 65, why not 75? We again looked at data. For a new brand, to sell beyond a certain price point, it is very difficult. So we have restricted ourselves from 30,000 to 60,000 price bracket for all 4K HDR displays. That's the only reason. It's not about our ability to make it. We can make bigger TVs. We can make all of those sizes. It's just we are realistic. We are also grounded. We know the market. We know the stats. We know the data. We don't want to just build a product just for a hype and hey, I have a 100-inch TV and just never sell it. We are also in the business to make great TVs, but also sell it at the end of the day. Let's be real. So that's precisely the 3 ranges that 2 series that we have and 3 sizes in Vision 7 and 3 sizes, 1 size in Vision 9.
Nice. So the Vision 7, the 50 and 43 and 50 are using a VA panel, if I'm right?
No, so actually all our TVs have an IPS except the 50-inch that you reviewed.
Okay.
So let's explain people IPS and Vision,
IPS
VA panel. Okay, so there are 2 types of major panels that's used by TVs globally. There is VA, there is IPS. And let me put the record straight. There is no better or worse. You will have to choose the advantage or disadvantage according to your liking. Unfortunately, we have IPS in everything and VA in one, and that is like constant. We are not going to have like different types of panel, not at least for the foreseeable future.
But for most users, I think they will also, I think, who can draw a parallel to computer monitors too, right?
Yes.
So most of the lower end computer monitors are using a VA panel. More of the premium ones are using an IPS panel.
So there is a reason we actually used IPS panel. Again, with our research, and I have personally experienced this in my house, and I've seen it in multiple houses. Indians in our household, in a living room,
Viewing angles.
the viewing angle is very, very critical. Let's imagine the TV is as where Varuna sits. The ideal location should be where I am sitting. But let's be real, it's not always ideal situation in your living room. You always have an L-shaped couch, if not a U-shaped couch. I think the rich people...
You're always looking at the TV in an angle.
You're always looking at the TV at an angle. One of the properties of IPS is great viewing angle without color shifts. While VA will give you deeper blacks, but there is huge color shift. I have a really expensive Sony Bravia, which has a VA panel, and there is a huge color shift, the Bravia 7. It's because of the property. It's not like VA is bad. It's just that the property of VA comes with this disadvantage of viewing angle, and hence for every size we have gone with an IPS because For the 50, we couldn't find a supplier which can meet our obviously quality standards using that. So yeah, IPS is all the TVs except the 50-inch.
Interesting. So yeah, that's why I think probably at the event you had a 43, I think, so which was slightly different, the color properties on the 43 inch versus the 50 we reviewed.
Yeah.
But yeah, so IPS is in plane switching, right? So that's why you're able to get that better viewing angle. So
I have a zoomed in image of the panel. Maybe I can share that with you.
We'll probably show it on screen. But yeah, great. So that is about the TV. So in terms of the display, another thing you pointed about, you buy expensive TV. If it slows down, you buy a box. Another thing people like to do or have forced to do is buy a soundbar.
Yes.
Because the TV comes with shitty audio, and you're forced to buy a soundbar to make up for that. So what your thoughts on that? And I did feel that even at low volume, because my son was sleeping and I was testing the TV outside, still at around 10 or 9 points in the volume, I was able to make out the audio. It was pretty good in terms of the audio coming out. I didn't have to crank it up too much to get some legible audio. I was actually watching Top Gun Maverick. It has some very good action scenes on that particular.
Brilliant movie, by the way.
Yeah, brilliant movie, and can't really get bored watching it n number of times. And it's a very good movie to kind of test the panel too, because it's a lot of dark scenes, a lot of bright scenes, a lot of fast motion and blur, and it's so much happening on the screen. It's a very good kind of. I think I was testing it on Jio Hotstar, Asli 4K, whatever they're calling it now. And so it was on Amazon and Jio too. So I was testing it out, and it was phenomenal experience, and even on low audio.
To watch it on the mini LED.
Yeah, looking forward to that. But yeah, so I was testing it out. So over to you on the audio bit. So I know you're an audiophile as well. So
I love audio. I love audio. I think it is very, very underrated. One of the best. They say picture up. Half is the visual. The experience that you get is the visual part. But the audio part is also very critical to get you that experience. One of the common problem when you watch TV is you can't hear the dialogues. Let's be real. What do? You go and turn on the subtitles, right? That's because you can't hear anything. And we actually went back to the drawing board and we saw what's happening in the industry. Unfortunately, in the industry, everybody is trying you to sell sound based on watts. The higher the watt, the better the audio. Let's break the myth. It's not. It's just the power that it drives. And also a lot of those TVs which claim I have 70 watt, 80 watt, the motherboard is not even capable of driving that much of watts. It's just the speaker rating that they are telling or writing on the product pages. The motherboard barely can go above 30 watts actually, 20 to 30 watts depending on how the board is designed, unless you have a separate power amplifiers for each of those drivers, for each of those other drivers. So that's pretty much the reality of the market. What we did is we went back to the basics, and the basics is very simple. Speakers is all about physics. No algorithm, no software can beat physics. Let me put that straight. So what we have done, we have put higher volume, or what we call as a cavity of speaker boxes across 43, 50 and 55. And from 43 until 50, 55, we have actually, in those two sizes, we have almost a liter of cavity. The more the cavity, the more fuller the sound is. The second thing that we have done, which is having dedicated tweeter and a full range driver even in the 43 inch. I have opened many TVs in my life. I have seen so many speaker boxes, even shipping today in 2025, which are priced 60,000 rupees. There is only a single driver and a tiny box. So that's why TV's boxes sound thinner. And you've seen the side-by-side demo how a competition TV sounds and how our TV sounds, and this is true for every TV selling, let's say, under 1.5 lakh rupees. They don't give you big enough speaker boxes. That is the fundamental, and they don't give you two drivers. So all our TVs have 4 drivers, quad driver system. So that's precisely why it is. But you can do so much with the speakers in the TV. Again, I want to also be very, very clear and honest about it. If you want better audio, you have to upgrade. And this is where the difference is. You can upgrade the audio, but you can't upgrade the display.
Yeah, but I'm going to throw a googly at you. So
yes.
I know Sudeep knows his sound very well. He's probably blown so much money on audio gear, keeps posting about all the time, including his DACs and his headphones.
Yeah, I love my DACs.
But my question is, say somebody doesn't want to buy a Lumio TV,
Okay.
will they be able to buy a Lumio soundbar in the future?
We are exploring, I'll be very real and honest, we are in the home entertainment space. So we are exploring everything in the space, and we are again a small team. I don't think we are like, we are about 20-25 people now. In fact, half of them are software engineers. We'll talk about the software,
Yeah.
what we're doing very, very
Into that,
different
yeah.
in this space. But we are not saying that we'll never do it. It's just that, yeah, we want to explore all the possibilities. And TV, what you see is effort after so long. And in fact, these are TV, we have ordered these TVs for ourselves. We want to make products that we are proud to use. We will never want to build something and put it in the market that we don't want to use, first of all. So till that happens, we probably will never do it. So if we don't find a good solution, in fact, we are thinking of building an ecosystem. Of course, we are building a home entertainment brand, and we're not a TV brand per se.
Okay.
Lumio is a home entertainment brand, so we
Yeah.
will want to build everything that you can think of. But it will not happen overnight. It will not happen in a year's time. We will take our own sweet time, because, like I said, we want to build products based on research and based on our experience, and we want to build great stuff.
So, I mean, TVs, yes, I mean, you can probably, so, I mean, there are like from 29,000 to about 59,000 you have the products.
Yeah, so 30K to 60K.
30K to 60K.
Yes.
So that's the product. So you have the Vision 7, 43, 50 and 55, and the Vision 9, 55. So what next? I mean, what immediate next category are you planning to getting into? Like, say there's a, I mean, I think natural extension from a TV is obviously sound, and maybe gaming monitors, if means you've mastered the display manufacturing and all that. So another extension is maybe projectors. So are you evaluating getting into that market?
So we are evaluating everything under home entertainment. We don't have like a specific, okay, this is the next, this is after 2 months we will do this. We are trying to build focus on TVs first. We have to get smart TV is something that is, like I said, is the biggest lion's market share in this space. However, if you try to do too many things, sometimes the core thing that is like the category that you want to focus might not work. So we will take our own sweet time to go and evaluate everything. And then it's not just the categories that is existing today, it's also about the future categories. We are also looking at the future, trying to figure out what are the things that will work out in let's say 2 years time or 3 years time. We will go ahead and try to obviously like do our own research. But like I said, if the product is not right, we will not bring it or will not ever launch it.
So coming back to the like overall Google TV experience on your Lumio TVs, how does a Lumio TV, I mean in terms of the software stack, it's the same Google TV which is running on the competition.
It is.
But how are
On
you?
paper it sounds like that.
Yeah. So how I mean, what the question is, why should I buy a Lumio? I'll buy a TV from, I mean, I don't want to name the brand, but I'll buy a different.
Sure.
So many brands out there, I don't remember on top of my head what brand. So most users ask, so why should I buy a Lumio TV? What is Lumio doing different in terms of Google TV?
So
yeah.
Our objective from the beginning was to build a fastest TV. The way we did it was like combination of 4 different things. The first one was putting a flagship processor. The second thing was to put more RAM. The typical standard you will find in the market is 1.5 GB or 2 GB of RAM in 4K TVs. We have put a 3 GB of RAM, but it's not just a additional RAM, it is actually better RAM, which means it's DDR4 RAM. The third thing that we do, which probably nobody in the TV industry talks about, is Wi-Fi driver. You are a network guy, you know how important a Wi-Fi driver is.
I'm sick of TVs with 4K, but only on a 2.4 gigahertz. How lame can you be? I mean, I've seen so many products with 4K. I mean, 4K easily consumes about 70 to 100 Mbps and full HDR. You're going to come with. And that Wi-Fi 2.4 maxes out at 50 to 60 Mbps.
Theoretically.
Yeah. Theoretically. So when you are far away from a router, which is typically where most homes are, router is somewhere, TV is somewhere, and you're not getting LAN in most homes.
Yes.
And mostly if you're living in a rented home or something, you can't really get that wire to your TV through LAN unless you own the place, which is difficult. So Wi-Fi is your primary connectivity, and you need fast Wi-Fi.
Yes.
So what are you doing differently in terms of
So
connectivity?
yeah, that's the third thing that we have done. We have added a flagship Wi-Fi chipset. So Wi-Fi, there is Wi-Fi 4, Wi-Fi 5, Wi-Fi 6. I think a lot of Wi-Fi 7 phones are coming, but we wanted to have, obviously there was a cost to what we can put. So we actually gone with a, even in Wi-Fi 5, there are like entry, mid and the premium options available. We have gone with the most premium option available in Wi-Fi 5 standard. So that's why our TVs are literally faster. And in fact, one of our a content creator, Dhananjay, he compared a Samsung flagship TV and he did a speed test, and not just the YouTube speed test that we have done and shown you. He did a legit speed test, and we were actually managed to beat or match a 1.8 lakh competition TV. So that's very, very important. Wi-Fi driver, no matter how good your router is, if the receiver doesn't have the right Wi-Fi, you will never get speed. In fact, our TVs somewhere between 5x to 10x faster than every other TV in the segment, under 1.5 lakh rupees. The fourth thing obviously is all ties up with software. We are working directly with Google, wherein they work with us to optimize the performance. One of the reasons why, I don't know if you have noticed, our TV is already coming with March 2025 security patch. So
and you have no stupid skin on top of the Google TV experience.
We don't have a skin. We are working, it's stock Android Google TV.
Nice.
In fact, we don't even have a lot of any bloatware. The only additional apps that we have is a live TV app, which you need if you have a set-top box. And the second is a media player, because a lot of people use pen drives and flash disks to view offline content. So these are the only two things that we have put. And in fact, I think a lot of people have gone and tested really high bit rate. That's one of the tests that people are really, I think the tech enthusiast community always comes and asks, hey, can you play high bitrate offline files? And we're very happy to share every person who has reviewed our TV, or people who have come to these events in the insider event that we are doing today in Chennai. They have gone and they have pushed the TVs, Lumia Vision TVs, to the limits, and they have gone back saying that how is it possible that you're able to play and doesn't stutter, literally doesn't break a sweat. So that's practically because of all this reason that we said the software is optimized. There's flagship processor, there is more RAM, better RAM, and there is the Wi-Fi, which I can't stress how important it is in the experience of a smart TV.
Great. So, I mean, looking forward to seeing how these perform 6 months later. So,
Sure.
if there are any slowdown or whatsoever, because that's again a question. Because
that's very important, because how do you foresee the future? And we have done our studies. In fact, we have also worked with Google to figure out, okay, this is the optimum RAM that you can have enough headroom so that it doesn't slow down in the future. So
nice. Interesting. So that's that. And yeah, it's good to hear that you are working actively with Google in terms of the software.
Directly.
And that does give some confidence, because Google TV as such is awesome. I mean, you have your Google ecosystem, but the hardware, the implementation, the RAM, I mean, there's a lot of moving parts there.
It is.
So
You have to pick the right component, the right type of component to get the optimum.
And how do you
experience.
So you're making this in Dixon in Tirupati here in India.
Yes.
So how difficult was it to get all the parts together? I mean, software is one part. I mean, you can just build it on a board and whatever in-house.
Sure.
But then making this at scale is a lot of work and a lot of investment, and working with the production line, being a new entrant. So how do you convince somebody somebody like a Dixon to invest like a part of the production line for your TVs? And it's also various sizes. It's not a single product like a phone.
Correct.
You have a 50, you have a 43, you have a 55, you have a 55 with the two different configurations.
And
so what's technically different between another question, like 55 Vision 7, 55 Vision 9, is it just the panel difference or the internals are changing as well?
Oh, huge difference, right? So Vision 7 is let me break down this. So Vision 7, they are all blue LEDs. Again, one of the things that people don't do, blue LEDs and a dedicated quantum sheet on the Vision 7, and same with the Vision 9. So these are regular backlit LEDs. Again, we have the most amount of LED counts in any TV in the country. On the 55 inch, you can have like up to 66 LEDs. We have benchmarked this, nobody has this. Mini LED comes with really tiny LEDs. So we have about 66 LEDs on the Vision 7 55. Guess how much there is on the Vision 9 55 inch? 1920 to be precise, almost 2000. Tiny LEDs. So it's very, very hard not just to build it but also to fine tune it. We'll come to that. That's how we have done it. So that's basic difference. So the backlight technology is LED versus mini LED. Both are QLED, both are dedicated quantum enhancement layer, which is again the most premium type of quantum QLED technology. Just like LCDs and OLEDs, there are cheaper LCD, expensive LCD, cheaper OLED, expensive OLED. Same goes with QLED. There is cheaper QLED, there is expensive QLED. We are using the expensive one. Bearing that, everything is the same. The system is the same. The processor, the RAM, the Wi-Fi card. Practically the same Wi-Fi card is there in a 43 and in the Vision 9 55-inch. So that's the fundamental difference. One of the key things that comes with the mini LED are deep blacks.
I saw that in the event, yeah.
It's
really good.
It's almost like OLED. Of course, OLED is the top hand because it's literally every pixel is 2 million pixels are LED self-emitting lights. But mini LEDs are something which is very, very close. In fact, our mini LEDs cost 60,000 rupees, and this is again tested, reviewed by multiple people already. This is the best TV that you can get under 1 lakh rupees because of just the sheer amount of the brightness, the colors that you get, and the deep blacks. I can't stress. You have to see it in person too. It's very hard to show it in camera.
Yeah, I think I saw the OLEDs, especially some dark scenes playing in your event, and it was pretty good. I mean, looking forward to testing it for a longer term. But yeah, why not OLED?
It's too expensive. Nothing else. There is no other reason. Again,
But you get a good balance of like the cost. The mini LED gives you the cost. OLED, you also have the risk of burn-in, right? So that's another issue. Because I've even seen expensive, LG OLEDs, like they are premium devices. There is some amount of burn-in. I have a friend who's a crazy gamer and he wanted a really low latency gaming setup. So obviously the LG 43 is a very good OLED is a very good solution. But after a year and a half, there is some minor burn-in coming in.
I think the technology has evolved, Varun. The new OLED panels that is coming through, they have like a burn-in protection. I think the burn-in happens for very simple reason. If you have a static, like an element on the screen, let's say a ticker in a news channel, or when you're playing games, you have certain controls which is always there, and you do that for very, very long hours. That's when the burn-in happens, because they're self-evident. They're organic materials. They will, over a period of time, they definitely will degrade. However, newer technologies, I think technology is something that will just get better and better.
But in your opinion, OLED is still the best in terms of picture quality. That is what you will say.
OLEDs are great for pure black enthusiasts. However, in my experience, bearing the latest generation cutting edge OLED panels, which are way more expensive, one of the common problems that they have is they don't hit very bright average APL.
The colors don't also pop as much as you would do.
The colors are right there until like 80% Rec 2020. What my personal experience has been with OLED TVs is they're not bright enough for our living room. That's where mini LEDs come. They can go really, really bright.
Nice.
In fact, there are mini LED TVs in the market which can hit 2,000, 3,000 nits.
That's a good point, because I think OLEDs, there's sometimes tend to be a lot reflective, and you need curtains which will allow stop light from coming in, because and only then you can enjoy the blacks. You need to watch it in a darker room, like a cinema room, which most office don't. It's just a living room, so you can't necessarily. So that's a good point. So that's like the OLEDs. But you're trying to get the best. Like almost OLED level picture.
It's almost OLED like blacks, but with great color and brightness, right in brightness. So even just again nerd detail for geek
at like a fraction of the cost.
Of the cost, but even the brightness that we have decided, these are again based on data. I'm sorry to bore you, but that is what we look at. People use this terminology. It's very popular terminology. It's the content creator's intent. Okay, here is the again dissection of what the reality is. We analyzed 600 HDR Dolby Vision metadata of all the high-end movies, the top-end movies. There are two things that is very critical to a content creator and how the content is produced. One is the high peak brightness, which is there in a certain scene. and then there is the average CLL. So there is max CLL and average CLL. Across all of these, like literally we're talking about the Dunes of the world, Mission Impossible, all of those like flagship content that you may call it. The two numbers that I said, the max CLL and average CLL, they are actually 960, 981 and 461 nits. So that's precisely the reason why we have chosen around 400 nits on the Vision 7 and on the Vision 9. The base typical brightness is 600, which is again super flagship high end, and the peak brightness we have capped it at 900. That's because what the content creators are making.
Nice.
Right? So that you get.
So I remember you spoke about this at the briefing.
Yes,
when
it's very important. I mean,
yeah, it's very interesting.
The whole point of content creators' intent is to have properties that the content creator is building.
And so the brightness on your Vision 7, Vision 9 is tuned to the most popular content on
what content creators are making, right? Having all the HDRs in the world, technology doesn't matter. What matters, you need to have brightness, again, color and accuracy. These three things matters the most.
Very interesting. So so that's something which is very thoughtful as well. I mean, designing something just because it's not putting in a panel or tuning it to a level that it can do technically, but also bringing in the content to tune it according to the content, because at the end of the day you're going to be watching content on it and not really just watching other
so we are
videos,
actually truest to the content creator's intent, if you think about it.
Wonderful. So I think that kind of brings us probably to the end of the discussion. Really insightful kind of talk about the whole entertainment space, TVs in specific, and Lumio, what are they onto. So so in case you guys haven't heard of Lumio, you should definitely go check out their website, lumio.in. And
what did you like the best about our website?
I think it's just snappy, and I think I really liked the team page where it has the
dogs,
pets in there. So that was really nice, thoughtful in keeping the pets.
They're all the pets. So we are a pet-friendly office. So all our pets actually come to our office.
So I think that's what I like the most. I just went into the team and saw those. I was like, okay, that's pretty cool. And I also like the fact that every person in the team is not just your founders, but it's every number. And also, I like. Personally, I've been on Kickstarter, I've been investing on new companies. I always like supporting companies which are new and have some passion into the product they're building, which is rare these days. It's mostly very commoditized. Nobody wants to build something, take the risk. It's a lot of risk. I'm sure you guys have taken a lot of risk.
Everything is a risk.
And you managed to get some investors on board who also kind of believed in your vision. Yes. So. So otherwise that's something really struck me, and the whole simplicity of the website. And I think also I like the fact that you saw one of our reviews or something featured on your social media as well. That is also nice.
So thank you so much for I would like to shout out to Varun. He has been truly supportive in my career path in this category all throughout. We have, I think, gone through a lot of. We have seen a lot. Let's just put it.
I mean, personally, I love tech, and if I see good tech out there, I just love to share it with our audience on Phone Arena. So we've been happy to cross paths again at Lumio. So it was actually a little. It's become. I've been doing this for so long that very few people continue to do this. It's glad to have somebody who's been in this space for a while and understands, and also. Kind of understands our vision and our audience as well. So thanks, Sudeep, for taking time to be on our channel, and looking forward to seeing more product categories from you, and hopefully a projector, hopefully a gaming monitor. Let's see what the future holds. But
we'll definitely give you the Lumio Vision 9.
Yeah, first send me the Vision 9. Only then this video is going to go live. But lovely having you and great chatting. And enjoy your time in Chennai, and looking forward to the meetup as well later today. But if you guys want to check out, they are actually on Amazon India, so you can check out their products. The links are in the description below. And so they have anything from a 43 inch to a 55 inch. So in case you have a broken TV or looking to buy a new TV, you can definitely consider their products. And yeah, check out our review as well. We've reviewed the 50-inch TV, and pretty decent product, frankly. Not that because Sudeep is here, but frankly, really good product. I think a lot of effort has gone into it. There are some quirks. I mean, there are some issues with it, like in terms of the overall product. I mean, there's a lot of trust to be built. I mean, a lot of questions people ask about the service centers. So, but in case you are facing any issues with the Lumio product or a Lumio order or something, reach out to me and I'll make sure I'll get Sudeep for Sudeep's attention for you. So, but yeah, thank you guys for watching. Do leave a comment in the video as to if you have any questions to Sudeep or to us, and we'll definitely respond. And otherwise, do subscribe to Phone if you've not done so already. And there's going to be a series of podcasts we're going to be doing, so definitely subscribe to this playlist. And thanks guys for watching. See you guys in the next video.
Thank you so much. Bye bye.